Hello, welcome to another video here on Lissa's Raw Food Romance. My name is Lissa. I've been following a raw vegan diet since 2014, and today we're going to talk about the hidden cost of not preparing your meals in advance. So let's talk about that in this video. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video here on my YouTube channel. Please go check out all the links we have down below. We have our 3 in-person events coming up: the Plant-Powered Party, the Health Optimization Cruise, and the Vegan Wellness Retreat. So tickets to all of those are down below. We also have 40% off our ebooks. So if you want to add more raw food to your life, you want to make the wraps, the burgers, the tacos, the sushi, all the fun stuff, 40% off code is rawfood40 at payhip.com/rawfoodromance. We also have our school community, our meal planning app, our Amazon store, all the links down below. So go check those out. And let's talk about the hidden cost of not planning and preparing your meals in advance. So there are a lot of different costs involved, not just money-wise. But for example, money-wise, when you don't plan and prepare your meals in advance, a lot of times you default to more expensive on-the-go options. And that includes the convenience cost, usually packaging, delivery, shipping, or whatever else in there in order for you to get the food right away, or conveniently, like convenience foods. So we pay that when we don't plan and prepare our meals. It's actually more expensive, in my opinion, to eat on the go and on the fly, because a lot of that is either restaurant options or fast food options, maybe some packaged stuff, which is really expensive these days. I mean, I've walked through the grocery store and just glanced at some of the prices on some of these easy to make meals, and it's ridiculous. It seriously is ridiculous. It's so much less money to make your own food at home. So there is one of the bigger costs, is the cost to make those immediate decisions when you don't plan or prepare. You got to eat something. So usually you're going to default to those other options. The other cost that is involved financially is food waste. Now, I've been there. I would go on kind of like a health motivation kick where I'd go to the store and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to buy all these healthy foods, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. And then I get home, maybe I do a healthy meal, maybe I don't. Maybe I eat the pizza that I bought as a treat for myself. And I'm like, I'm going to start tomorrow. And then just over time, because I don't plan, I don't prep, that ends up being wasted food because I choose other things instead. So it's actually even more expensive because a lot of the fresh food that we do buy goes to waste because we're choosing other things. So I did that a lot in the past before I went raw. And once I went raw, because I didn't have all these other options of foods to eat instead, because in the moment I didn't feel like making a salad. So my bag of lettuce would just rot. And I've seen so many comedy memes and reels online making fun of that bag of lettuce that you bought when you felt healthy and now it's like rotting in the fridge, or the apple that you take to work every day and it comes back home with you. It's like, going to work with the apple day or whatever. So, a lot of these foods just don't get eaten. Even though we want to choose healthy, in the moment we don't always, because we're not planning, we're not preparing our foods in advance. So these healthy foods tend to go to waste. So there's a lot more food waste that happens, and that's both, it costs food and money and time as well. So time is another thing. When you prep in advance, you actually end up saving time. Even though you are spending time in the moment to make the things, it saves times later on, like blending a double batch of dressing or chopping an extra salad for later, doing 3 days worth of lunches in advance, blending stuff and storing it under vacuum. These save time when you prepare in advance. So not only does it cost extra money, but it costs extra time. And it costs mental load as well. Decision fatigue is real, and that's a cost. When we don't plan and prepare, we've got all these extra decisions, and it's harder to make decisions when we haven't eaten. And usually we're skipping meals or whatever, and now all of a sudden we have to choose what to eat, and we're like tired. And that's that mental load. That's a cost as well that happens when we don't plan or prepare. And then on the other side, we've got other things that we pay for not preparing and planning is like you're paying with your future selves time. When we think right now about our future self, we can save them time and money. So it's really important to think about our future selves as well. Put yourself in their shoes and say, what will that person wish that I did today? And if that's get up and go make your wraps or go prepare something in advance or, freeze dry that thing or make the kale chips or whatever it is, get up and do that thing because you're saving your future self time and energy and stress and all of that other stuff. So think of your future self because it's you. You're thinking of you. It's just, you're just not here yet. You will be though. And when you look back, you're going to be like, thank you for doing that thing. You might also pay. One of the costs is your body's own self. And what I mean by that is when you don't plan or prepare your meals, a lot of times you skip meals. A lot of times you're not eating enough, you're too busy, all of this stuff, and you don't end up eating. What costs is your fat and muscle mass and other things in the body because the body needs to compensate for the food that you're not eating. So it's going to use your fat, it's going to use your muscle, and it's going to use other things that it can to compensate when you're not eating. So not only does it cost time, money, effort, all that stuff, but it also costs your own body if you're not eating at appropriate times, you're not planning your meals in advance so you know exactly what you're eating and when. You're scheduling your meals in so to make sure that you get enough calories. So that's a hidden cost that a lot of people don't realize as well. So planning and preparing helps you to avoid that cost of eating your own muscle mass. And especially for women in perimenopause, obviously everybody needs to make sure that they keep their muscle mass up, but women in perimenopause and postmenopause, we need to make sure that we keep our muscle mass intact. And that requires eating volume and variety. We have to get enough calories, we have to get enough nutrition, we have to get enough variety so that we don't eat more of our muscle mass. When we're skipping meals and we're under eating, our body is going to compensate by getting some of the protein from our own muscles, and we don't want that. And finally, one of the hidden costs is the broken promises to ourselves when we don't plan or prepare. We might want to, and it's really important to keep promises to ourselves. That's something that we should really hold dear to ourselves, is keeping those promises. We keep promises to a lot of other people, but we have to put ourselves in that box too and say, I need to keep promises to myself. My future self is depending on me to make sure that I keep doing this. And our habits, we don't want to pay with our habits either. So making sure that we plan and prepare. And the easiest way to do that is to proactively food journal. We have our Food Journaling for Success ebook. Again, all our ebooks are 40% off with code RAWFOOD40, link down below. But the Food Journaling for Success ebook talks about proactive food journaling, and there's also pages that you can write in. What proactive food journaling is planning in advance what you're going to have tomorrow. So most people, when they think of food journaling in general, they think of reflective journaling, where they're looking back on their day and they're like, oh, I had this for breakfast, this for lunch, and this for dinner. That's great for finding patterns, but it's not great for planning your future. So proactive food journaling means that you're writing down what you will have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what you want to have for those meals. So if you want to make a specific fruit smoothie in the morning, you want to have, maybe you have grapes in the fridge, so that's going to be your snack. You're going to have my French dressing for lunch, and you're going to make a raw wrap for dinner or whatever. You write it down on a piece of paper and then schedule yourself in. When are you going to get the food prep done to make that plan a reality? Once you do that, it's so much easier. It's so easy when you have a plan. You have stuff to check off your list and you just follow the list. It's very easy. And then schedule yourself in the meal times as well, because it's really easy for the day to get away with us and we don't end up eating. So make sure that you schedule yourself in so you're eating enough. So important. So thank you so much for joining me today for this video. If you enjoyed, please go check out all the resources that we have down below. We've got our school community, our online meal planning app, our Amazon store, 40% off any or all of our raw vegan recipe ebooks with code RAWFOOD40 at payhip.com/rawfoodromance, and the 3 events that we will be at in person: the Plant Powered Party, September 2026, the Health Optimization Cruise, January 2027, and the Vegan Wellness Retreat, we're going to be at the Michigan one in September 2027. So everything down below, head on down there and check it out, and we'll be back tomorrow for another video. Until then, I love you and Frunan.